In this lesson, we'll finish off the bottom of the vehicle and detach it. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is finish off this bottom part. So what I want to do first is select these edges up here at the front. We want to fill in kind of this area up in here. Okay, so we can go ahead and just pull that out with our shift. Okay, we can pull it out to the front here and kind of take these vertices back in a little bit. Okay, and it doesn't have to match up perfectly, but we might want to come in and actually add a couple lines in here just so that we have something a little bit more to work with as far as smoothing this out. So we'll add a couple lines in there, and then we can come in and just kind of smooth this out. And I'm not going to attach it. I just want to place it kind of in that area. It doesn't have to match up perfectly. We just want it to kind of cover that area in general. All right, so let's go ahead and now select all of these polygons here. Okay, so what we want to do is basically select everything down here on the bottom. Okay, so we can come in and select all of these guys, all of these guys. Make sure you're in selection, and then you can come in and actually drag across. You can click. Use all your all the different selection modes that you have available. But what you want to do is just select the bottom part. So basically, just the part that we extruded. So you want to come all the way up to the edge, basically. Okay. So all the way up to here and then down. Basically, any of those new polygons that we created in extruding in just the bottom part, not the back or the front. But just the bottom. So we'll go ahead and select all these guys and get those in there. Okay. You can see we've got some selected here. You can hit Alt click to deselect anything that you've got selected. So once we have all those selected, all the bottom part, we want to actually detach that. So make it a separate piece. So what we're going to do is come down to Edit Geometry. Oops. And we want to, right next to attach, there's something called detach. So we'll detach it. Now you can detach it as a clone, so you can copy it, so the geometry will still be connected, but there'll be a new copy. You can also detach it to an element, so it'll still be in the same editable poly. But I'm going to go ahead and make a new object out of it. Okay, so you can see where this is now separated from this. Okay, so now we can come in here and add any sort of resolution that we want to. For instance, I want to add some resolution in here, and go ahead and just add all these edges to our selection, and then we can come in and add extra lines here. Okay, and I'm just going to add kind of one right in there. That'll help us just a little bit too, as far as kind of smoothing this out. Okay, and then so now we've got it kind of a separate bottom piece. I can do the same thing back here. Okay, and you can add or take away any kind of resolution that you want to in here. If it doesn't affect the shape, for instance, down here, we don't need all of these lines, so we could take this, select the loop, and then Control Backspace to delete that, and it's not going to affect the shape at all. Okay. So if we want to now create the other side of this, now we're starting to get into being able to mirror things over to the other side. We can actually use our symmetry modifier. Okay, and this is where we're going to start to get into using this. Now we want to make sure that our points are all on the origin. And so I'm going to go ahead and add a modifier. I'm going to add a symmetry modifier right down here to this guy. And I want to mirror it in the X. And I'm going to go ahead, and if you take a look at this, you can see the different options. So for instance, if I look at Z and I flip that, you can see what happens, and you can see where this guy is the actual axis here. Okay, if I do X, you can see how that works. It's actually flipping it in that direction. Okay, I can flip it back. I can do Y and flip that back. I can take this mirror plane here and move it around, which affects the mirror. So you can see that's now flipping it that way, or I can come down and do it that way. So you're able to access this. And if I want to do X or Z. So I'm going to do Z and pull this across. And what I want to do is just pull this until that mirror right here is actually right in the center. So go ahead and pull that over. And you can see that I've got weld seam on. I can up that threshold a little bit just to make sure everything is welded together like it should be. Okay. And then if you're happy with that, okay, you've got both sides built in there. If you're happy with that, you can go ahead and collapse that. And if you wanted to, you could come in and add extra edges in here to make that nice and smooth, but we don't need to do that really right now. Okay, we can call this something like belly pan or bottom, and just to kind of keep track of things a little bit better. You can, if you want to, you can give it kind of a different color. We can give it kind of just give it a black, I guess. Yeah, that's what makes it a little bit hard to see. We can do something like a gray. All right, just so it kind of get a little separation there. Okay, so now that we've got the kind of the bottom figured out, the next thing that we're going to do is to work on the hood. So we need to start kind of cutting some of these pieces apart. Okay, so what we can do is come in, and right now it's very soft, so we need to add some resolution in here to the hood and start to cut it out, and then we can add some thickness to it as well. So we'll go ahead and start to do that, and we can also mirror it over to the other side as well. So we'll go ahead and do that in the next lesson.
Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe my channel for more updates.